businesses. The Oh, so I'm sorry. What was so? So the Payroll Vault approach, the genesis around this was designing something that was able to support small businesses. Because a small business owner, they have to wear every hat. They are HR, they're operations, they're manufacturing, they're logistics, legal, and everything in between. So what is something that anyone, or normally I would ask a small business owner, like, what business are you in? For this example, we'll just use biking. As someone who is building a bike shop, do you think they care about payroll services? Like that really gets them motivated. Like I need to figure out how to get all my employees paid on time and make sure all my quarterly taxes are filed on time and everything in between. No, that's not what they're motivated about. That's not what gets them up in the morning. What gets them up in the morning is building bikes and taking care of things like that. So Payroll Vault is designed to support those small businesses and basically be the operating arm of HR and payroll for that small business. And to do so all in a way where you get the personalized high-touch service of if you were part of a larger organization, but you only get the customized services you need, so it's price efficient. So again, going back to it, who all needs payroll services? Basically, if you have one employee, you are required to pay payroll taxes. You are required to pay payroll to yourself. Any small business owner, no matter what industry, needs payroll support. So then as a small business owner, what are your three options for doing that? You can do it yourself. So that means you're logging into QuickBooks, you're logging into any of the cloud-based accounting systems, managing all that, doing the best you can, but still have that doubt in the back of your head that if you miss something, there are significant tax and compliance legal issues that you would have to be exposed to. The second choice you would have is, I'm going to hire an accountant or a CPA. Well, accountants and CPAs are overwhelmed with work right now. In fact, one of our the largest local CPA or accounting firm here in Iowa City, Bergen KDV, just like Go, their lowest 20% of their customers because they couldn't provide support for them. They're just so overwhelmed. The accounting industry is so short-staffed that they couldn't meet the demand of what their customers needed. So unfortunately, they said, we can't help you. So now your first option is do it yourself. Your second option is accounting or CPAs who are already, again, slammed with doing more complex accounting things. So now that leaves a third option, outsourcing. Outsourcing, this is where Payroll Vault really steps in and shines. It's because, again, as I mentioned to start with, it's like having the operating arm in your store, but only paying for what you need. So you don't need a full-time HR person. You don't need a full-time payroll specialist. You need someone who can dedicate 2 to 3 hours every other week or during every pay period to make sure everything is taken care of. Your employees are paid on time, as well as all your taxes are filed in the appropriate manner, so you don't have to worry about that risk. So I just jumped ahead, sorry about that. These are all the different services that this just falls under the employee side, or this just falls under the payroll side. So quarterly filing, state and federal tax withholding, wage garnishments, and then whether it's you have contractors, so that would be the 1099s or independent contractors, or you have employees, which would be W-2s. I can handle both of those in between. In addition to payroll, which is the bread and butter of Payroll Vault, the other services that I'm able to offer, timekeeping. So do you have, I know there's a lot of there's a lot of different opportunities and options available for small business owners to to do scheduling and timekeeping. The restaurant industry, I always cite Toast or Square. Both of them have very strong point of sale systems that also do timekeeping. But for someone who says, like let's say a landscaping company, they wouldn't have a timekeeping option. There's not really a good product out there. This is something that I can offer as well. Pay-as-you-go work compensation. Insurance is expensive. And as a small business owner, you're a small fish in a big pond, so you're not going to get the economies of scale to get a very competitive workers' compensation price. What Payroll can offer is by accumulating and bringing together a large number of small businesses, we can get economies of scale so that you get competitive work comp prices that you wouldn't normally be able to get on your own. On top of which, most work compensation policies require an upfront annual premium. I'm able to offer services, or I'm able to offer work compensation insurance where it's pay as you go. So every time you file payroll, or every month, whatever works, you just pay on an incremental and consistent basis. So that helps with your budgeting process as well. Benefits of retirement plans. Again, that's something that I'm exploring, that I'm able to offer. But again, for the smaller businesses that are 0 to 10 employees, that's not really something that we can offer that makes sense at this point. But when you grow to 25, 50, 75 employees, now all of a sudden benefits and retirement plans is something that's very interesting and a very good motivator and differentiator for yourself to attract and maintain employees. Then the last point, the employee retention tax credit. I'll jump into that on this slide right here. As a small business owner, you should have been hearing a lot of conversations, a lot of news, and a lot of information around. There's a whole gamut of information, but I tried to sum it down into like 2 slides. The way I describe it to the small business owner is, do you remember during 2021 where the government was handing out the stimulus checks to employees? It was about $1,500, there was 3 of them. This is basically the IRS doing the same thing for the small business owner. This is saying we appreciate, this is the reward the IRS is giving the small business owner who said, we recognize that you struggled during the pandemic, but that you also paid your employees and kept them engaged, kept them paid, and kept them working. Because of that, we are going to give you a retroactive live check to reward you for the work that you've done. Now what that means is for 2020, any employee, if you qualify, can get a maximum credit of up to $10,000. For 2021, any employee that you have on staff can get a maximum credit of $28,000. So if you were operational during the entire pandemic, every employee that you have on staff, you could get a check from the IRS of up to $38,000. Now think about that. Most small businesses have, let's say, 10 employees. What could you do with $380,000 that all of a sudden you got back that you didn't know that you had already spent, but that you didn't know you were getting back? That's the kind of cash influx that the IRS is giving out small business owners, and this retention credit is good through the end of 2023. So that we only have 9 months left to really focus on this, but you'll see a lot of different people presenting it and talking about it, and this is why it is, because the economies of scale of that gets ramped up to a very significant and exponential level. It's like another good example. It's like finding a $100 bill in your jean pocket that went through the laundry a couple times. Like it's your money, you already spent it, but now that you found it, you forgot that you already spent it, so it's like free money. Here are all the different eligibility factors to qualify for the employee retention credit. The key things here, you only have to do one of the 4. If you started the business during 2024 or during 2020, you automatically qualify. if your revenue decreased during each of those times, you automatically qualify. Here's the good closure or partial closure due to the government mandate. When I can walk into any restaurant and say, did you have to restrict your occupancy level based on COVID mandates? Yes, you qualify. Let's take another example, because I love this one, bike shops. Bike shops actually made a bunch of money during COVID because people were looking to get out. They had to be isolating, but they wanted to get out and have exercise. So when you look at their revenues, you wouldn't say, oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. But what does work? What was the biggest struggle bike companies had during COVID? Getting supplies, because all the docks, all the importing, everything was shut down, so you couldn't get supplies. They all qualified. So those are the things where, like, that kind of creative, interesting components where you look at just how it impacted people work by the pandemic. I have yet to find a small business that I wasn't able to get qualified for the employee retention. And again, even this piece, everyone got a PPP loan. Even if you got your PPP loan and then it was subsequently forgiven, you can still qualify for the ERC. You just can't double dip. That's something where I won't get too far into the weeds on it, or I'll stop getting into the weeds on it, but if people are interested, I have a full process that I'm happy to explain and walk through, and any business owner who's interested in learning more about it. And then finally, here is just a here's just like a good visualization of what the software package would look like for both the employer and the employee side. From the employer side, this is the dashboard. It's all cloud-based. Everything we would see here, what they would work with. And then on the employee side, you can get it via app or your cell phone, tablet, desktop, anything. We try to make this as user-friendly and simplistic as possible. Because again, we take a complex thing and we try to simplify it and make the employee's life easier and make the employer's life easier. So with that, are there any questions, anything I can answer? I'm happy to help out in whatever way I can. Thank you.
So I know you added some services since Venture School. How did you identify those services as ones that you wanted to add?
It was just building on my HR background. I mean, payroll is the bread and butter of this company, but then within payroll, what are all the other things that fall into it? So timekeeping was the first piece, because let's work on the front end so we can manage the person's time, and then it immediately falls into the payroll services. Then from doing all of my interviews from the Venture School program, I just started looking at the common themes, which was work comp, benefits, the employee retention credit, and everything else from there. I was like, okay, if this is what my potential customers are telling me is a need, then I need to go out and find a solution for it. So that's kind of how this whole thing has evolved from there. Because again, it's about being the HR and payroll arm for the small business owner so that they don't have to worry about it. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah. Was that something that was already in the software, or is it something you kind of had to build?
The software, that was the benefit of utilizing this software is it has all those services available. It was just a matter of designing it and customizing it so it worked for the small business owner. I mean, the foundation is there, the background is there, but it was just a matter of saying, like, okay, how do we customize it and tweak it so what works for you will be completely different than what works for Jay, and figuring that out.
So this is just you right now, right? Or do you have help?
I have a team.
Okay.
Because
Because I'm just wondering, so, shops that are only one or two people, like, you think about the future, it's like, we want to scale this thing, we want to keep
This definitely has a scalability component to it, and is something that's on the forecast, or on my personal forecast and implementation plan. Right now, I'm operating in all, I'm a small business owner. I'm doing all the different things, I'm wearing all the different hats, and I'm leveraging the community that I'm part of with software and other small business owners who are using it to kind of design it. But the scalability of this business is definitely something that I'm looking at to bringing on new employees when it makes sense. In fact, I've actually reached out to that. I've actually reached out to the accounting school here at the University of Iowa, because potential accountants or students who are looking to get into the accounting world, this is their bread and butter. Like, this is payroll. This is something they're going to have to do. If they're going to be in accounting, this is something they're going to have to do. And so this would make the perfect opportunity for them to kind of get real world experience while also helping the small business.
Do you see that being an internship opportunity or like kind of your pipeline for future hires?
Yes. Yes. I see it as a way to, like, it's a good case study for for students to really get their hands around real world examples. But yes, also future hires.
What are you doing right now to market your small business?
So I only opened up the doors January 1st, so I'm only 2.5 months in. So my marketing plan right now is very bootstrap and startup. So talking to my friends, luckily going through the venture school, one of the big benefits was the requirement to interview and meet potential customers. So when I when I opened my doors and opened up for business, all I did was go right back to the first 65 people that I interviewed and said, hey, remember this conversation we had back in October? Well, I went ahead and did a thing. I turned it on, we're ready to go. What do you think is now a good time, is now a good fit? And we've just kind of let everything organically grow from there. After that, so this startup phase, I'm looking to do through the end of April. Once we get into the summer months, May, June, tax season is done, so people kind of like calm down and had a chance to breathe. Then I'll start doing more marketing and communication from participating in 1 million, continued participation in 1 million cups, from getting some office space here at Merge, and just kind of branching out in that way. So it is fun, terrifying, and exciting to be the small business owner who is also now trying to help the small business owner. But it also makes it very easy to relate to them when I say, like, I get what you're terrified of. Like, the dread or just having the thought in the back of your head of, like, how am I going to pay payroll? How am I going to pay my employees? Crap, it's the end of March. I have quarterly taxes I have to file. How do I do that? That's the problem I'm looking to alleviate from the small business owner. They don't have to worry about it. They just have to call me, and I'll figure it.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In a van down by the river, I don't know.
You're trying to like hire other people, right? So you can
I am
make sure
trying
that
to,
you're
well, the beauty of this for me is this, I can offer support, payroll services support to anyone in the country. So I can do payroll for a small business in Washington, New Hampshire, Iowa, and everywhere in between. So in 5 years from now, I'm looking to just kind of see where this goes and see where it expands. There will definitely be, if I meet the expectations that I have right now, I'll have a team of anywhere from 5 to 10 employees who are all working on with dedicated customers, and then I'm out growing and developing the business and building more networks and supporting more and more local businesses. So 5 years from now, I don't know. And even when I joke about being in a van down by the river, I love the idea of just being able to travel. And I actually have a bucket list of, the World Cup is in 3.5 years. I want to actually travel with the USA men's team and go to all the different games all across the country and gonna do that, I still have to be able to work and support and help my clients no matter where I'm at, or in the country, I should say. So,
So I was gonna ask, obviously in the last week, there's been a lot of drama with like, financials, payroll, people not getting paid. Have you, kind of leaned into that somehow and like using that as like, you should do business with me, like?
no, I mean, there has been, it's shown how delicate things can be around payroll. Like, all it takes is one piece to fall off and the whole thing can crumble. Now, in this case, payroll for me, the banking industry doesn't impact us outside of whatever bank the client is using. That's the only thing I'm concerned about, because I just need the checks to, or I just need the bank account to be able to pay the employees. But what the drama from, is it Silicon Valley Bank, SVB? What that I think really brought to light is just how delicate this whole dance is and how catastrophic things can get if you're not managing it and compliant. I mean, the idea of not making payroll, you have employees who aren't getting paid. On top of it, then the IRS is going to be filing, you're going to be non-compliant with the IRS, so the tax liability and the fines associated with that are astronomical. Like, they can shut down a small business like that if you miss a quarterly payment, just because the fines can get into the hundreds of thousands of dollars super quick. So the excitement and the drama from this latest iteration with SVB doesn't really impact me outside of the fact that it just reiterates the importance for compliance and oversight for the small business owner to make sure your payroll is done on time. The other thing too I should add is, jumping back to the accountants and CPAs, I'm also working on a separate partnership strategy with them, because again, going to their point where like Bergen KDV had to let go of the bottom, or the lowest, their bottom 20% of their customers, partnering with local accounting firms. Accountants don't want to do payroll. It's not a good use of their time. They bill out at $125 an hour. It's not financially viable. Plus, they don't have time because they're focused on all the other things. I'm in the beginning stages of partnering with a lot of like 3 to 6 practice groups with 3 to 6 accountants, where I can offer payroll support, because my background is not accounting. I am zero threat to an accountant because I'm not going to steal your client. In fact, I'm going to provide additional services and value-added services so that you can have peace of mind that your client's taken care of, but you don't have to do it. I'll take care of it. So, thank you very much.
Yeah, well, we asked the final question. What as a community can we do for you?
Spread the word. So basically, my service is support. My service is providing peace of mind to the small business owner. And in order to do that, I just need awareness and to create opportunity and a chance to prove myself with small business owners. Again, this is, I've mentioned it a couple times, it's fun and terrifying to be both in the position to help the small business owner while at the same time being that small business owner. So I love it. It's nerve-wracking, it's great, but it's also exciting and rewarding, and I'm so happy that I've made this jump from the corporate world into the small business world, and absolutely love it. I would encourage and welcome anyone who is having trouble or concerned or has questions about payroll services, about employee retention credit, to reach out to me, and I will provide the best possible service I can. I already have a number of clients who would be active referrals for, or not referrals, references for me, and who can speak to the personalized and customized